Oops, uh-oh. Oh no, there we go. Okay, so you're in a lesson that is actually student paced, which means you can go through the slides at your own pace. There's pros and cons to doing this in live lesson or student paced. So the live participation means that I can control the pacing of this. You don't have to go to that code. I can control the pacing on my end. If I push this out to students as a live paced lesson, they cannot scroll through the slides at their own pace. They're stuck with me. That means I can control the pace, I can control the conversation. So I like it for times like that. When you want to give students the option to be in more control of their path and place, then you can put it on student paced. I've done this where they can do a Nearpod in partners, or they can do it by themselves. If you want students to be able to access this for homework or to review for a test, then you want to put a student-paced code in your Canvas. And so you can actually put it in as a live paced code first, so that they're stuck with you during class, but then after class, if you want to update the code in Canvas, you can give them the option to go back through as student-paced. So the learning intention today for this training is that I want you to become familiar with features of Nearpod and how to use it within Canvas. Our goal this year is to try to keep students in Canvas as much as humanly possible. So I love using this as an external tool in Canvas, so they don't even have to go like you had to do to join nearpod.com. They just access it right there in their Canvas page. So I want you to be able to try different Nearpod features today and embed this in Canvas as an external tool. I think Nearpod helps us with this teacher clarity and our feedback cycles a lot. So why use Nearpod? You can use it as an interactive presentation tool for quizzes. You can use it for drawings, readings, videos, web content, and more, and it keeps students in the same place without having to give them 500 different links for where you want them to go in one day. You can use it for scaffolding tools and for all of our different assessment types, and even for our feedback cycles. And I'll show that to you throughout the lesson today. So where do you build a Nearpod? You do it right in Google. And I would actually like, if you're willing to do this and want to try it and want to give you time right now, to go into a Google slide and get this add-on so that you can use it right after we're done. So I'm going to go ahead and give you time to go into your Google Drive, a new slide, and then you're going to click Get Add-ons. And I'm going to go back to our Meet to check the chat box to make sure we're all good. Whoops, wrong one. Here we go. After you've clicked on add-ons and get the add-on, you're going to search in this search box for Nearpod and then click on this one right here. And you just do this once. Once you've done it, you'll always have it available. For some of us who are a little more old school and we built things in PowerPoint before, you can go into Google Drive and upload your PowerPoint files. And then when you click Open With, it will automatically convert those PowerPoint into Google Slides when you say Open with Google Slides. Sometimes the formatting can get a little funky, but most of the time it opens pretty great. And so if you've already got those presentations built in PowerPoint, you upload it to Google Drive, open with Google Slides, and then you're going to use the add-on. And so you don't have to reinvent those presentations at all. You're just going to add in some activities to those. I want to get a temperature check. How are we all doing with the add-on? Oh, can't find the add-on, Kristen. Kristen, do you want to share your screen with us and I can kind of talk you through it? Okay, let's go back. It looks like I need to show you how to get the add-on one more time. So you're in Google Slides, okay? From Google Slides, go over on your toolbar, click on Add-ons, and then click on Get Add-ons. And then once you're in that, it's going to take you to this marketplace. You type Nearpod up in that search bar, and then click on that Nearpod image.
Kristen, Jackie, mine says uninstall, so it's probably already on,
Yeah,
right?
yep. If you've got it, then it's already in there. Stacy, you should be able to do it from any presentation, a new one or an old one. Okay, nice. Sheila, how you doing?
Yeah, still lost.
Still lost?
Consistent, but lost.
Okay, how about we move on, because you don't have to do it right this minute, and then at the end of the call, then I will walk you through it individually.
I will come bother you with other questions all at the same time. Deal.
Love it. So you can follow along with me in Nearpod, and then we'll get you the add-on at the end.
Perfect.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, so let's assume we've all got our add-on, but here you go. You should be on this screen, and I need, you know what, guys? I'm not going to see your poll. I'm just realizing, haha, because we're all in a different code. I know this is kind of a pain in the butt. Can I have you all go back to Nearpod? Change your code. Go to join.nearpod.com and change your code to this one. I really want to show you all these features, and we probably should be in live presentation mode instead. NAETQ. NAETQ. We're going to use that code instead. Yay, I've got Jim and Kristen and Adele. Oh, look, 4 more populated. Yay. So today I want to show you what features Nearpod has in it, and then you guys can think through how would you use this in your class. Lori, go to join.nearpod.com and then use this code. All right, so I've got my poll. On my end, I see the results. On your end, you see the poll. And so with students, I can share the results and it'll come straight to your screen. I'm going to do this for a second. So on your screen now you see the results, right? I can unshare it and it comes back and you see your poll. So we got half of you that were able to get the add-on, 30% of us still need some help. You know where to find it, you'll do it later, about 12% of you. So this is good to get temperature checks in your classrooms for polls, and I like to use it for student like debate kind of thing. Like, where are we at on this issue? Okay. The other option you have, you don't have to do this right now, but the other option you have is to log into Nearpod and build your Nearpod straight in Nearpod rather than using the add-on. I like the add-on because if you already have a presentation built, then you can just add in the interactive activities rather than reinvent your whole presentation inside Nearpod. But if you have a brand new topic and you feel more comfortable, you can just build it straight in Nearpod. Yep, Natalie, I will. I will also make the recording available to you as well. All right. These are all of the different types of activities that Nearpod lets you put in one place. And I have used almost all of them. Flipgrid wasn't working really well in the spring, I'll be honest. And so I am going to, when I have a minute to breathe, try Flipgrid out again in Nearpod to see if I can get it to play nicely. But I'm going to show you, I'm going to walk you through several of these activities today to show you what it looks like. Okay. So here's a draw it activity. Now that you've seen what's available, I would like you to circle 3 that you'd like to try in your class. Draw It can be used for highlighting PDFs. Those of us who were looking for ways to do that, my brain forgot that way, but we can import a PDF image in here and they can highlight it on Draw It. You can have them draw, I've had students draw, like, we have regions of Utah, and I say, what do you think, what type of animal do you think might live in this region? And I've put a picture of it on the background. They really like that kind of thing. I've had them draw, what do you think this battlefield might have looked like for these soldiers, and have described it in a written format before. So there's lots of fun features for Draw It that's only limited by your imagination. So I'm seeing that some of us are really interested in the field trips, the Draw It's, the fill in the blanks. Yep. Vocabulary. The FET simulation, I'll be honest, I don't know anything about that right now, but I am willing to learn it to help support you. And then you can also share with your students a drawing that other students have done by clicking on it. I can click share and that will go out to your screen. And then usually you'll have a student who's like, wait, I haven't finished yet. And I'm like, well, just look at it for a second, unshare it, and they can go back to their screen where they were at. Okay, I'm gonna move on to the next one. I can put a PDF that I would like students to read in here, and then you can click on it. And so these are just some humorous laws of behavior that I found on the internet. I particularly liked the law of biomechanics. The severity of the itch is inversely proportional to the reach. I liked that one. So you can put something in that you would like students to read. They just click on it and it pops open in a new tab for them. And then the next activity I wanted to demonstrate was a matching activity. So you will try to match the law to its definition by clicking on each one. So this is a type of checking for understanding you can do after a reading activity. I love this too, because as you're watching this come in as a teacher, you can also say, oh, wow, it took so-and-so 20 tries to match these 4 things. We probably need to review that a little bit more. So you're adjusting your instruction based on data that you're gathering right there in your assignment. Look, you guys didn't even have that long to read it and you're all 100%. Nice job. Okay, just because we're just demonstrating this, I'm going to go ahead and kind of go quickly through it for your time's sake. This website is actually going to show you some other ways that you might use matching pairs in your different subjects. So if you go ahead and click on that, it'll take you to a website. So this shows you how you can put in web material, but keeping them inside of Nearpod, controlling where they're going. So I particularly love this one for math class. You've got your images and you're actually matching the equations. I think that's genius. And then you've got your ELA, filling in the blanks, another way to do a fill in the blanks, and then science, matching chemical reactions. I'm going to do a temperature check, okay? And then our next activity. This is a collaborate board. As a teacher, you can approve student comments before they're posted, so you know your students and you know if they're gonna need this. If you click yes, then it filters through you and you have to approve it first. As a middle school teacher, I really liked that. So I'm gonna say no, I don't need to approve your posts. So I'm just curious with you guys, what's your favorite school appropriate video? Favorite school appropriate video on YouTube. On your down there where it says share your thoughts, I would like you to state why you like it, and if possible, find a link to your favorite video real quick, and then we can all look at each other's comments. Ooh, Lori, I need to learn 4-square breathing. And then you'll notice as people post it, you can click on the heart and get, feedback from your class on other people who like that same thing. Oh, buttermilk the goat. I know that one, Karen. Oh, Weird Al. Okay. So you can see how you could get feedback from students on this as well, and then I can share the whole thing. If I wanted to set a timer on this, I can sort it. I can sort it by likes. That is another feature in Nearpod. I haven't used it because I like going based on my proximity to students, but you can set a timer for each activity when you're building your Nearpod if you'd like. So, but I can sort this by likes and put the ones that are more popular. Oh yeah, Jerry. Oh, favorite American principal. Okay, so that's our collaborate board. And this is oh, sorry, what? This is a field trip. There are lots of different field trips you can take. If you put in on your slide, you're gonna go into field trip and you can search for places and things. I love that these people showed up in Santorini, Greece, but this is where I would love to go. This is my dream vacation spot. Where would you like to go for your dream vacation? This is called an open-ended question. Hi. Iceland, nice.
Would you do me a favor sometime today?
I would like to go on vacation with you guys.
I mean, I can store this for you someplace, but I need to, like, whatever you're putting in here and everything else needs to be put in storage.
Okay, hold on, don't leave.
Oh, thanks, Angie. Mount Kilimanjaro. Oh, Wendy, you had tickets and did you get to go? It got canceled. Oh my gosh. When you get to go again, I want to join your trip. But if you are seeing this on your end and you love somebody's answer, you can again share it with your students. They're going to see it on their screen, and then we can go back to their screen. Now, one of the things that I learned late in the year last year, which kind of blew my mind, and you're going to be like, oh, really, Jackie, that blew your mind? But it really did, because I'm so used to presenting my screen on my projector that I would project my Nearpod up there. But I was in a training and somebody else was like, why are you projecting your Nearpod when you have this on the student's screen? Keep their attention on their screen and turn your projector off, they said. And I was like, whoa. So I tried to do this, and then, you know, school got closed, but I would highly recommend you try to train yourself when you're using Nearpod to not use your projector and keep your students' attention on their screen, because everything you want projected to them is right here in front of them. And if you want to share something with them, you use that share button. So there you go. Here is a fill in the blank activity. It's going to be really challenging, I bet. But on this one, when you're creating it, you type in your sentences, you click on the word that you want to go to your word bank, and it moves it over automatically, and then the student just drags it into the sentence. Congratulations, Joel and Nicole. You got me figured out. I like to eat. Okay. So then the next thing is that I've got a sample video in here. So this video I am going to leave open for you to try on your own as well, but I can again control this on my screen. I can either send it to my screen only, or I can say, students, put in some earbuds, and I'm going to have you watch this video at your own pace. But for now, I'm going to click this device only. And then this video walks us through some of our settings.
Make sure.
So I would like, if you are in Nearpod, I just need you to know some of these features for when your students are working on this. And I'm going to go through and play the video.
In Nearpod, you go and set your settings for your lesson. So click here over on the top part for your account, then click lesson settings. It will bring you to this page. If you want your students to be able to have the screen read it to them, so that if they have trouble reading or they're ELL, or you can enable this immersive reader so that a button will come up here on the left-hand side that they can push, and it will read them the screen. They can annotate their notes or save them on there. You can show the quiz and multiple choice question results, or you can turn it off if you don't want those to see those. You can let them resubmit their answers if they've submitted something and then you've had a class discussion and they want to really quick change their answer, they can do that, or you can turn it off. And this is the really important one. If you want to do sticky notes and have them collaborate with those, then you need to make sure to turn this on for student-paced lessons. Otherwise, it won't work unless you're in live lessons. So make sure you flip this one to on if you want them to use that. And then you're good to go.
Okay, those are some of the settings that you can change within Nearpod itself. So to change those settings though, you do need to log into Nearpod, and everybody should have a Nearpod account. It's your first last name at canyonsdistrict.org. And then if you had it set up last year, then you probably have a password. If not, you might need to click forgot password and it will send you an email to reset that. Even new teachers, I went in and created a district account for all of you. So this gives us a district license, which allows us to have more lessons in there. And then, oh no, there's one more. It didn't get put in there. Okay, so the other thing that I'm going to send you is it's about a 9-minute video that I put together last night on the actual creating it side of things, what it looks like to actually create it, and then how to push it out as an external tool in Canvas. But I do want to go through and show you that right now real quick. So if we're in Canvas and you've created an assignment, create your assignment, then click on your assignment. And if you go to edit assignment settings, you go to submission type and click external tool. This is how you're going to be able to push out Google documents to your students as well. You go to this external tool, it creates a copy for the student. I'm going to check to make sure I'm not going too fast. Okay, see ya, Angie. Okay, we're in Canvas. External tool, you click find, and these external tools are in alphabetical order. Scroll down until you find Nearpod. and it's going to connect to your Nearpod library. So anything you have in here, you can choose, do you want your students to do it live with you, or do you want them to do it student paced? I'm going to select live, and then I select. I save my assignment. And then when students come into Canvas, they do their Nearpod right here with you inside of Canvas. Okay, so these are some of the great things about it. Your imaginations can run wild with the ways you can use it in your classroom. And I want to come back over to our presentation. I want to stop presenting. I want to see your faces. Does anybody have any questions? Okay. Does anybody want to share a way that you can think right now, like one thing that you want to, let's try a success, make me feel better about talking to like, talking to nothing. How do you feel like you might use this in your class?
I have a question. Which way is the best way to link a Nearpod lesson to Canvas? I know of two ways, and both of the ways it linked directly by embedding the URL code look pretty much the same. I was wondering what your preference was.
I definitely do have a preference, and I would definitely use that external tool to link it in Canvas, because what happens then is that it shows up in your speed grader. And that's a really great question, because what I would also do, and this is something that I learned over the summer, and I didn't do it, but I 100% would do this in the future, because I was helping to grade that level 1 ed tech coursework over the summer, and they had put in a rubric for Nearpod. And so when I want to show, I'm gonna jump back and show you this for a second. Present. When you are in your Nearpod library, yes, I'm gonna leave it. It will show you reports, and this I did in the longer video, but I can look at my reports. And it'll show the different types of activities I had in my Nearpod, and it'll show like which students submitted them. This isn't a very good example because they got in and they didn't do anything. And this was on the summer or spring learning. So I can go into poll, but the great thing about putting it straight as an external tool is when it shows up, it gives you that report right in Canvas instead of having to come over here and pull up the reports. So my rubric would probably say something like, for this assignment, I would say, did you complete 100% of the polls? Yes. Oh, you got a point. Did you complete the open-ended questions? Yeah, yes, maybe so, no. And I'd give like maybe 2, 1, or 0 points based on their completion. And it makes grading the Nearpods a lot easier. The other option for grading your Nearpods is you could put them all in as 10 points maybe, and it'll say they completed 50%, and then you give them 5 points. But it doesn't break it down. That doesn't break it down by activity, and then you have to do some little guesswork. So that's why I would use the external tool so that I can grade it right in Canvas. Any other questions?
If you drop the URL code in through the HTML to embed it, you still get the same features
Oh, you
as
do?
if using the external tool.
Okay. Then I would say for you, do whichever one you like better.
Hey, Jackie, what are some of the pros and cons between that and Pear Deck?
Oh, that's a really good question. One of the pros to Nearpod is that our district currently supports it 1,000%, and so they've provided us all of these licenses. I think Pear Deck has some different options. And so if you like, I think it might just be a matter of you playing around with it and be like, well, for this activity, I really like the things Pear Deck offers. I really like the things Nearpod offers. And so then it's just up to your preference. I think Nearpod has more options of activities than Pear Deck does, but that might just be your preference, Emily.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, good question. Anything else? Okay. Those of you who want to stick around and we can help walk through getting that add-on for you, we can do that now. And then I will send out the recording of this presentation. So if you get stuck and you want to go back through and look at it again in the future, you can watch me at chipmunk speed, double speed. Okay, thanks guys.